Disciplinary spanking is one of the several methods of correction when disciplining a child. When it comes to discipline, where do you draw the line? Is it a timeout, a lecture on actions and consequences, a grab of the arm, or maybe a meltdown? It is important that how parents use any corrective measure will determine how effective the outcome is. I have researched the positive information on disciplinary spanking, and I have actually personally used spanking as a means of discipline. And I have found that my children have grown up just fine. So let's see what the experts say. According to the Merriam-Webster Online Dictionary, disciplinary spanking has been defined as physically non-injurious, intended to modify behavior, and administered with the open hand to the extremities and also to the buttocks. According to goodparent.org, in an article on disciplinary spanking defined, it states that disciplinary spanking is not intended to be physically harmful or cause the child to be emotionally distraught. To clarify several misconceptions of disciplinary spanking, it is stated that disciplinary spanking is not slapping in the face, kicking, or beating. Disciplinary spanking is not to lose control of your emotions at a time of anger and taking it out on the child. Disciplinary spanking is not to be used as the primary method of discipline. Disciplinary spanking should not prevent the use of timeout, restraint, or taking away privileges. Now let's look at the effectiveness of discipline spanking and when it should be used. According to the American College of Pediatricians, and also from an article, Effective Parenting in a Defective World by Focus on the Family, all methods of discipline can be ineffective. This is determined by how you use it. Here are some guidelines that were expressed by both websites. Spanking should always be planned. Your first interaction with your child should be verbal. Always administer discipline in private. You don't want to embarrass your child amongst his friends, family, siblings, or even perfect strangers. Don't overdo it. 1 or 2 spanks is sufficient. Spanking should never result in a physical injury. Always follow up the spanking with a review of the offense, and always read your unconditional love to your child. When is it okay to spank? It's okay to spank when a child's misbehavior could be dangerous, or if they have the intention to repeat the behavior. When a child refuses to cooperate with milder punishment, and when a child willfully disobeys other forms of discipline, and also when a child is disrespectful. Is it age appropriate to spank? According to the article, Disciplinary Spanking, Is It Necessary, on the goodparenting.org website, states that spanking is necessary during the 18 months to 6 years when reasoning and consequences are less effective. From 7 to 10 years, it is uncommon to use spanking, and you should hardly ever use it after 10 years. According to the research done by Dr. Ray Grundy, a local clinical psychologist to the Children's Hospital of Akron, Ohio, they did a study with families of outstanding students in 50 states, and they were the winners of the Teacher of the Year to discover the secrets of highly successful families. Spanking was one of the aspects of parenting that was examined, and this is their findings. 70% of parents of outstanding students employed some physical punishment with their children. Some relied upon it often, and others rarely used it. Spanking was generally considered to be one tool in a parent's discipline repertoire. Most began spanking between 18 and 24 months and usually phased it out by ages 4 to 6. Spanking was neither the main method nor a last-ditch intervention. The occasions when spanking was used was when teaching a child to avoid potentially dangerous situations and when punished for disobedience, when punishing for disrespectful behavior. Spanking was not used for accidents, childish behavior, or impulsiveness. The parents usually preferred to employ other consequences for these behaviors. The study's conclusions about spanking was a majority of parents with outstanding children were willing to spank. They consider it a healthy discipline option. Spanking is not a child abuse, and not one of these spanking parents was a child abuser. Spanking does not in any of itself lead a child to be aggressive or to approach problems with a might makes right mentality. Consistently, the youngsters in these families were identified as normal, mature, and sensitive. One need not to spank to be a good parent. A significant minority of parents chose not to spank for personal or practical reasons. They neither view spanking as the psychological dark side of discipline nor as an outmoded or brutal technique. According again to the website goodparent.org, in the article, Does Spanking Lead a Parent to Use Physical Abuse? Surveys indicated that as many as 94% of parents of preschoolers use spanking. Yet the incidence of physical abuse in America is less than 1%. More than 70% primary care physicians, pediatricians who work every day with families reject the idea that spanking sets the state for parents to engage in forms of physical abuse. Conclusion: we are not given an instruction book in raising our children. What may work for some may not work for others. Successful child rearing requires 3 elements. First, instruction. Second, affirmation. And third, correction. Parents must give instruction, then encourage them to listen and comply. And then if they're disobedient, then you correct them. Parents and professionals may never, ever agree on where to draw the line when it comes to discipline and teaching our children right from wrong. Just remember to show them love, no matter what your choice of discipline might be.